Let's talk about Azure Compute Services in this video. The focus of this video is to get a high-level overview of all the compute services available for us to use rather than going into the details of them. The first compute service that we are going to look at is called Azure Virtual Machine. This is a very common solution. This is where you'll be provisioning a virtual machine in Azure, just like you'll do in your own on-premises data center, and you can start using them as a server. This is very useful if you want to do lift and shift migration of your on-premises solutions to cloud, and also when you want to install some custom software for your solution but that cannot be run within any of the other services, then you can go for Azure Virtual Machine and install your software in that virtual machine and start using it. The next set of services are Azure Virtual Desktop and Azure VMware solutions. The Azure Virtual Desktop is useful to provision virtual desktops in cloud and allow your users to use them as if it is provisioned from your own data centers. And Azure VMware solutions are useful if you already have some VMware solutions and you want to migrate them to Azure. Now let's move on to some of the cloud optimized solutions. The first and probably the oldest solution is Azure App Service, and this allows us to deploy web applications in Azure. This is like a platform as a service, so you may not have complete control, but this is optimized for web workloads. The next one is Azure Functions. This is very similar to Azure App Services, but this is suitable for micro or nano services or something that you want to run periodically or event-based workloads. And Azure Functions supports serverless, and if you choose a consumption-based model, you only pay for your usage rather than paying a fixed fee. Next, we have some container-based solutions. The first one is called Azure Container Instances. Azure Container Instances allows us to run Docker-compatible containers in Azure, but you don't have full-fledged orchestration support. If you want that, you can either go with Azure Kubernetes Cluster or Azure Container Apps. If you want to use all the features of Kubernetes and you also want full control, then you can go for Azure Kubernetes Cluster. On the other hand, if you want the benefits of Kubernetes but you don't want to have full control, you want some of the things to be managed by Azure itself, then you can go for Azure Container Apps. Then we have Azure Service Fabric. So this is Microsoft's own orchestration solution, and if you have some application already developed using Service Fabrics, then this is recommended. Then we have Azure Batch. This is usually recommended for any high performance compute workloads. And finally we have Red Hat's OpenShift, and this is very similar to Kubernetes, but this is from Red Hat. So these are the most common compute services we have in Azure. I hope this video is useful. Thank you.